I've been working as a psychologist in this field for over 20 years, and in those 20 years, I've completed thousands of psychological assessments, most of which would be deemed psychoeducational or educational psychology assessments. The reality is not all students are going to be able to get a psychoeducational assessment completed. Um, in some situations, people will ask for what's referred to just as a consultation. So a psychoeducational consultation does not provide the same level of information as a full assessment does, but it still provides a lot of useful information. Largely, this information is still focused on me trying to measure or gather information that relates to the same things that a psychoeducational assessment would, such as, how are they developing cognitively, which means looking at things like language, reasoning, problem solving, how are they developing in specific areas of academics? So like literacy development, numeracy development. How are the skills developing? How are the applications developing? So for the example, the skill of reading would at a certain point just be, can you essentially read words, and how fluently, efficiently can you read words? But the application isn't just can we read? It's the comprehension of what we're reading. That is the eventual goal of reading, is to prove that not only can we read things, but that we have the capacity to understand what we are reading. One of the main things that we often forget about when we're using assessment tools, whether they're, basic, simple literacy numeracy tests, if they're more comprehensive diagnostic academic tests, or if they're a full psychological or psychoeducational assessment, we often forget about the fact that frustration levels play a huge role in how all of this plays out. And if a student is experiencing underlying difficulties with literacy and frustration is playing a big role, which it often is, then we need to consider how is that frustration influencing things, and how does it need to be considered. AFIT does not provide standardized assessment results. It's not meant to replicate a standardized assessment. It's meant to replicate psychoeducational consultation. So the same types of questions I would be asking a parent or a teacher or an individual themselves that relate to cognition, to literacy, to numeracy, to frustration, I would be asking those questions in person. AFIT replicates that. And it allows us to then provide direction for that student that considers those areas of development and provides optimal then opportunities for growth in those areas, while also attempting to limit the frustrations that are experienced, because those frustrations are a factor that standardized tests don't consider, but are really, really important, both in the immediate, but also in the longer term.